I guess this is kind of the theme of the week where we're just kind of taking a look at the more nerdy side of things because we've talked about how to stick to different lifestyle changes, okay? Especially with the new year rolling around, and I know that we're a few weeks deep in this already, but what about some research-based tips? Not just colloquial like, oh, just trick yourself into thinking it, okay? Or just get really motivated by sticking to certain goals because you just want to do it and because you realize it's probably the best thing for you. What about some actual researched ideas, okay? And that's what we're looking at. New Year's resolutions are an annual ritual for some people for setting intentions for self-betterment. Health behavior goals such as improving healthy eating and physical activity are among the most popular resolutions. Unfortunately, failing to stick to those new goals is so common that it becomes cliche. Exactly. What is it? The overwhelming majority of people give up on their New Year's resolutions by the middle of February, so I guess we're a couple weeks out from that one. So hopefully you're not just one of those boring patterned individuals that fall into the same old garbage. I think better of my viewership than that. This is backed by research evidence. Studies have repeatedly shown that over half of people who form health behaviors intentions fail to enact them. Oh yeah, I have the best of intentions. I'll just start on Monday. Okay, and then Monday rolls around. Oh, look at that. I just didn't have the time today. There are caveats for this statistics, of course. Yeah, don't complain. Short-term health behavior goals are more likely to be enacted than the long-term. And those who are returning to a pattern of behavior they used to practice are more likely to follow through with their intentions compared to those who are adopting a new health behavior. But there are outliers, okay? There's some people who are unreasonably unhealthy till about 16 years of age and then dedicated now, wow, okay, over half their life to health and exercise. Weird. I couldn't think of anybody who'd possibly think that descriptor. No, couldn't possibly be anybody. It's important to note that having an intention to change behavior is the essential first step. Few people regularly engage in healthy behaviors without those initial good intentions. Sticking to health behavior goals, however, is a critical factor. Why do we struggle with health behavior goals? We're going to have to find something shorter to say because that's annoying to say. Self-regulation is an extensive research topic in psychology. As professor of health psychology, the author's research focuses on understanding the intention-behavior gap in physical activity and testing interventions that may help close this gap. My own research and studies from my colleagues have shown evidence that difficulty in following through on intentions often comes from two sources. The first is strategic challenges, which are flawed approaches to thinking about goals and behaviors. The second, number two, is basic human tendencies when faced with what psychologists calls approach avoidance conflict, when something is appealing and unappealing at the same time. Like exercise. Oh, you're just so excited to go to the gym, and then you're at the gym and then you realize that everybody's just so loud and grunting and I don't like to sweat and that's bad. In terms of strategic challenges, the details for the goals themselves may be the first indicators of whether somebody will struggle. For example, the intention to engage in physical activity is often based on the desired long-term outcomes, such as weight control, fitness, and the reduced risk of chronic disease, and due to consideration of the time and effort required to perform regular physical activity itself. Another strategic challenge is the failure to consider multiple goals, which is likely to underestimate the resource needed to perform other behaviors. Juggling multiple goals is one of the prime reasons why new intentions are often abandoned. New behaviors like exercise must compete with or coincide with all the other things someone needs to do or wants. And if you can't properly schedule or prioritize your life, it's going to fail. Okay, it's just going to fail if you don't want to do it. Okay, contemporary research also shows that people may have automatic tendencies that, on balance, tend to derail health behaviors. For example, people have a basic underlying tendency to approach experiences that are pleasant and avoid experiences that are unpleasant. Yeah, exactly. It's like the natural survival technique, okay? Like the whole concept of exercising and lifting to a caveman, yeah, caveman, yes. No, to a caveman seems absurd, okay? Because eventually, at one point or another, a big cat is going to come down from the hills and try to claw you to death, okay? And if you are just full of lactic acid and you can't get up and run appropriately, you're going to die, and then your genes aren't going to be continued on in the life stream. So your desired goal of being the most jacked Neanderthal out there who's never realized it's a good goal, just not for the time. Physical activity can be adverse experience for many because it requires the body to stop resting and experience some exhaustion and discomfort. Yes, some people are weak. Effective strategies for sticking with intentions. Monitoring your goals regularly is one of the most successful approaches to keeping a behavior on your radar. Exactly. At the end of the day, okay, if that's a little bit too strenuous for you, okay, and you just need to start out with something easy, at the end of the week, okay, take stock of what you're doing, okay, keep a tab on what you're doing, ever it may be. It doesn't have to be weight loss, okay, it could just be saving more of your paycheck, okay, something as simple as that. Keep up to date on your investments, keep up to date on your savings, make sure that you are keeping up with that. In terms of our more automatic tendencies to disrupt health behavior intentions, a focus on the behavioral experience itself is critical. Making the health behavior as pleasant, convenient, and meaningful as possible, and performing it at times when you have the most energy to fight temptations. That's why I just like to exercise first thing in the morning, okay? For a long time, used to exercise in the evening after work or after school, but I just like to get things out of the way, okay? Do the hard things first, and then everything else throughout the day just seems like a piece of cake, okay? And then when you're not quite as, energetic as you could be first thing in the morning, the more annoying aspects of life just really don't seem to matter because you don't really have as much energy to put towards that kind of stuff. Just a little life hack for you. However, in times where you're faced with a strong urge to abandon your health goal for a more immediate gratifying diversion, this is when you want to take a moment to acknowledge your feelings, but enact your valued intentions. Yep, cost-benefit analysis. Oh, my ankles hurt. Oh, my knees hurt today. I can't go out there and exercise. Okay, cool. Give into that and then just realize that you'll just get fatter and that your knees and your ankles are going to hurt a lot more if you just don't get off your ass and go do it. It is important to keep in mind that most of the health changes people are trying to make with these good intentions are lifestyle behaviors. As such, a few slip days are inconsequential to the overall goal, as long as they're few and far between, okay? There are some things that you can't overcome, like breaking a bone, okay? Like something physically keeping you from doing what you need to do, okay? We get it, there's exemptions to that, but if it's just you're not feeling it that day, just get on that horse, okay? When life bucks you off the horse, you get on that horse and then that horse. Anyways, but yeah, I guess that's kind of research. It just kind of seemed like a lot of pleasantries and vague ideas, but I don't know, I think sticking to goals is probably the best thing you can do, okay? Because you can always have these best made intentions, but if you're too weak to follow through on it, then what good are they? They're just always going to be intentions. It's always going to be something, just a little bit too far out of your grasp. Well, they're always just going to be a little bit too far out of your grasp if you don't reach, okay? If you don't just lean over the ledge and just go grab it. But with that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.